Welcome back. Now that you've updated the project charter and edited some of the project goals to make them smart, it's time to discuss scope, benefits, and cost. Coming up, we'll explore what to think about when adding these items to your project charter. After this video, you'll review new supporting materials and use what you've learned to identify benefits and costs which you'll add to your charter. Let's get started. When thinking about what kind of information to include in a project charter, it's always good to consider the primary audience who will be reading it. And since the goal of creating a project charter is to communicate with your stakeholders, they're your primary audience. Here's an example. If you know that one of the benefits of your project would be of particular interest to a key stakeholder, you'll want to make sure to emphasize this benefit in your project charter. The stakeholders reading your charter might not see more detailed project plans and other documents later on, so it's important to get consensus on the critical elements now while the project details are still being finalized. You've already identified and hopefully resolved any misalignments about the project vision and goals. Next, you need to get aligned with your stakeholders on scope, benefits, and cost. We talked about scope earlier, but as a quick refresher, scope refers to the boundaries of the project. For example, the number of restaurants taking part in the pilot. Details that don't contribute to the project's goals are considered out of scope. To determine what's in and out of scope, think about what's needed to achieve the project goal. Keep the following questions in mind. Which project details are your stakeholders aligned on that would be considered in scope? Do your stakeholders disagree on any elements? Are there any details you should designate as out of scope for this particular project? As you think about these questions, take notes on what you find and refer to them as you complete the scope section of your project charter in the upcoming activity. After you've figured out the scope of your project, you'll need to focus on project benefits and costs. Benefits are the expected gains of a project. These can be direct monetary gains or indirect benefits, like an improvement in customer engagement or satisfaction. Costs refer to the money spent on project tasks and the prices of things like time, resources, and labor. Costs can be evaluated and managed using a project budget. A budget is an estimate of the amount of money allocated to complete the project. In the next activity, you'll need to review the supporting materials and take notes on details that can help you identify the benefits and costs of the tablet rollout. You'll use that information to add two lists to your project charter, a list of benefits and a list of costs. Usually, you can find the benefits the project will bring in the business case or project proposal. For example, your list of benefits for the tablet rollout might include its potential to speed up service and increase sales by an estimated %. Here's another benefit. The tablets will provide the restaurant with clear data points on customer ordering and an integrated point-of-sale system to help guide decision-making in the future. A list of benefits can help you identify potential project goals you might have missed. A list of costs will include items the organization will have to pay for in order to get the job done, like the price of labor or materials. Listing out costs helps your stakeholders weigh the benefits against the amount of money required to realize those benefits. You can build a list of costs by working with stakeholders to get estimates on labor, materials, and any other factors that might cost the business money during the project. Earlier, I told you that the benefits of a project should outweigh the costs. This is almost always the case when a project is initiated or proposed. When you add these details to the charter, it helps visualize them in one place and makes the costs and benefits crystal clear to the stakeholders. This section is used a lot as an aid to help make sure stakeholders agree that it's worth the money to pursue the project. Okay, let's recap. Scope refers to the boundaries of the project. Benefits refer to the expected gains of the project, and costs refer to the money spent on project tasks, plus the prices of things like time, resources, and labor. Ready to get back to your project charter? Head over to the activity where you'll review and analyze the supporting materials to identify the appropriate scope, benefits, and costs for the Sauce and Spoon tablet rollout. Then, meet me in the next video where we'll discuss techniques for negotiating with stakeholders. See you soon.